It always comes to this. More nice shit. Hello there guys, here to do another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I most likely had showed off the right side outlined color on black and the additional color on black that we did on that side. Still not quite done over there. There's going to be more detail, more color obviously, more black and more white, as we're only probably just around a third of the way through now. I have had another session on that chest piece since, but since I have something more visible to talk about, obviously I had another appointment. So I've had 2 appointments since that, and I got my forehead redone, and I had the roses on the side of my head done again. This being the 6th overall time I've had those done. 2 passes of red, a pass of white in 2019, a pass of white midway through this year, and then 2 passes of opaque gray now. And as you can see, they're pretty much no red left in them now. The last time there was just a little bit of pink left. This one was better than the other one. This one we started with, and so the opaque gray can be a little hard to put in. It's a little bit tricky to saturate with. It's not really a color so much. It's a bit different to work with. So we started with the left side this time, in case the skin tightened up and we only had so much time where we could get the ink in efficiently. You wanted to start with the side that was a little worse off. We worked across. I'll talk a little bit about this. This is the same color as was put in my neck, except there's obviously no black underneath of it, so it's a bit brighter. It's still healing. That was a bit of a weird heal. I've had my forehead tattooed, I want to say 3 times. I think it was first tattooed and we just kind of had like a finish at the top of the head. And then I had Rick bring down the filigree a bit more so that it would show just a little bit. And now, since I've been working on my face this whole year, reworking everything, I kind of wanted to rework the forehead stuff as well. The choice of red was late. That was a late choice. I knew I was going to point it more and bring it down farther, but I wasn't sure like what it would look like, whether I would do... I knew I didn't want to leave it negative. I don't have much negative space, and what negative space I do have will be filled soon, as I'm planning on filling all the little gaps on my head this year with a mixture of black and red shading. But anyway, I knew I didn't want negative space. I didn't know I wanted red until I've been enjoying this, the red velvet that Terry put into my neck recently. So obviously right away, before I get into the details of the forehead tattoo, because that'll be a bit, this looks more striking than most of the rest of it, and mostly that's because it's fresh. Anytime you've got fresh tattoos, they're quite a bit more striking than healed tattoos. So I think that, and the fact that it's in the very middle of my face, or the top of my head, the point, for a little while was drawing my attention to it quite a bit. I wasn't sure I liked it at first. I get that way with most face tattoos to some degree or another. I think it's probably because we detect so much about a person's character and who they are through their face, that whenever you make a change to a face, it kind of takes a minute for you to keep pace with it or catch up. You look at yourself and you're just immediately struck with something is different. This was a big one for me for that, because my forehead has been the same for, I would say, 5 years. But the more I sit with it, the more I see it. I was editing some Remy reacts with it, where it had been done for this vlog, and I was like, the more I kind of seen it, the more I was like, okay, I like this. But right away, it was quite punchy. I would never say that there are things that I do that I never think about after. Like, I have a big dose of that with my chest piece. When I blacked out my chest, there was a minute there where I wondered whether that was the right call. Now, I knew it was even at the time, but when you get used to seeing something and you really like that thing and now it's gone, you're always gonna be hit with that pang of like, did I do the right thing? So that probably never goes away. If I still get it after all the changes I've made, that probably means that that's gonna happen forever, for everyone, for anyone, for the most part. And those who don't have that are probably, or at least if they say they don't have that kind of a reaction, are probably a little bit in denial. But anyway, so yeah, it took me a minute to get used to. It was very, very dark when it was first done. It bruised a lot, which has been common for me for my forehead. I told Terry before we did it that my forehead bruised a lot last time that we did it, and it bleeds like all day. I barely use aftercare, as I've mentioned before here. I use a very light coat of Aquaphor twice a day, but even then my forehead was like, it was like wet, like drippy kind of, and the tissue all around it was bruised. It was funny, these leaves were peeling, the skin was peeling a little bit just from bruising a few days after the tattoo. Now if I had showed this off like the day after I got it done, or even the day I got it done, I had like a goose egg. Like my head was like out about, I would say at least a quarter inch off of my head. You could see the shape in the swelling coming off my head, which is pretty hilarious. It looked like someone smacked me in the noggin or hit me with a hammer or something. Obviously it healed fine. There are a few spots that the red isn't as solid as others. That's to be expected anytime you have tons of bleeding in the tattoo or tons of swelling. If you get lots of swelling, lots of bruising, lots of bleeding, it's probably going to mean you need a touch-up. That obviously doesn't concern me whatsoever. What does concern me is the can of worms I opened up and am in full acknowledgement of. As I was doing it, Kevin says to me, the guy who does Remy reacts with me, he goes, "Man, you're gonna have that red everywhere now. Like that's going everywhere. That's gonna be." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." And I've been telling everyone for a long time now on here, so it shouldn't be a surprise. But this next year, I'm gonna be a lot more colorful than people are probably expecting, and I knew what that meant when I was saying it. I was fully planning on covering a lot of my blackout with color. So coming up right away here, within this week, I believe it'll be Thursday, and this being Tuesday, I do these vlogs on Tuesdays right now. I'm going to be going back into my face tattoo. There's some red there now, but it's not incredibly vibrant on the face. It kind of faded out a little bit on the face, and especially in the chin. We're going to be doing, we're going to go all the way up now with the red. That dark velvet red velvet. We're going to fill all the black space with that red, and it will not only increase the contrast between the white and the black, because obviously black ink always will have a bit of a blue base. So to contrast the white lines that still have that bit of blue look to them, with red will push those apart, and therefore again creating another layer of contrast like we have in these roses, but also tying in the forehead. Obviously, as I mentioned, there will be red fill in between and in place in certain parts of my head tattoos. Now, ironically, I just got done taking the red out of these roses. I'm still not planning on putting the red back in them. So for anyone who thinks that this is hypocritical or a bizarre change of events, it's not really, because I'm going to leave all of my roses, all the various roses I have are going to be left primarily gray and white, and the background and the filler elements are going to be red for the most part. This was just to create some contrast between top and, or some unity between top and bottom. Because as I said, the chin is going to be more red soon too. And I'm planning on doing a lot more red in other places too. Probably going to end up bordering these tattoos with some other colors, maybe the red. I'm not sure yet. I was thinking about blue for the moon, blue or yellow, just to bring the moon out. Yeah, just the more color on black that Rick and I play with, the more open to experimentation I am. And if I had to title the look of my bodysuit now, or the theme of it, it is just pure science, pure experimentation. That's the aesthetic I'm going for now. You know, when I started the white on black stuff, I had a pretty clear idea of like, I want this to be kind of like a Lovecraftian horror type thing. And I still do want that for the most part. But more than anything, I want to push and see what I can do with it. That's become the main objective. Anyway, just show that off real close there. So again, some spots will need touch-ups. I'm not too surprised or concerned with that. In fact, it's probably a good thing for me to have more to do. I don't ever really want to be out of things to work on. So for me, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Because I also want to get into these leaves again and define them a little bit more anyway. So we'll probably just do that at the same time. I still also have to do the highlight pass of white in the roses, so that'll be coming up, and obviously the back piece blackout is looming. Those are all Terry projects. Rick is still just chiefly going to be working on my torso, my chest piece, and then soon enough my sleeves. All right, well, I'll be back here again with another one soon. Have a great day.